Hi, thanks for joining us today on Real Estate Insiders TV. I'm Danny Poulos with the Elite Lending Team at Femby. Joining us this morning is Tanya Rose, also with the Elite Lending Team at Femby, and she's going to be talking about something called a mortgage credit certificate, which is specifically for first-time home buyers, and you're going to love to hear about this. So Tanya, take a minute, introduce yourself, tell us what you do.
I'm Tanya Rose. I'm a loan officer with the Elite Lending Team at Femby Mortgage, and I've been doing mortgage finance this is my 19th year.
All right, so you're starting to learn how this whole thing works?
Finally, yeah.
Oh, that's good.
It's ever changing.
Well, yeah, you're right, it is changing all the time, and this mortgage credit certificate is something that's pretty new, and unfortunately, we know most people don't know a lot about it. They don't exactly see commercials on TV about this. Right. So first of all, tell everybody what a MCC or mortgage credit certificate is.
Well, a mortgage credit certificate is a certificate that you receive after you purchase your home and go through the mortgage. And then you have a certificate that you're eligible for a credit on your federal tax return for the life of your home. Right,
so that people don't get confused, it's a program that's administered by Florida Housing, right? Mm-hmm. You've got to be a first-time home buyer in Florida.
In Florida, yes.
Okay, so then you can use the certificate though, and it's for your federal income taxes.
Federal income tax, yes.
Okay, so even though it's a state program, it's a certificate that applies towards federal income taxes. So who can get it?
A first-time home buyer is eligible. Now, what is a first-time home buyer?
Right.
First-time home buyer is obviously someone who hasn't owned a home before, but it's also those people who haven't owned a home for 3 years. So let's say somebody had, ran into some trouble 5 years ago, lost their home, or maybe sold it, moved from another area, was transferred here. If they haven't owned a home in 3 years.
I think now, more than a lot of times in recent history, there's a lot of people that are qualifying as first-time home buyers that owned homes before.
Yes.
Usually, you're right, it's someone that never owned a home, but nowadays it's someone that, in 2005, 6, 7, 8, 9, things may have made a turn to where they had a home or more than one home, and now they don't have any, and they qualify to get back into the market. And some of them don't even know they can get back in the market, so this is really, will help them with this mortgage credit certificate. So I know a lot of these programs for first-time home buyers, you can only buy in certain neighborhoods and certain blocks of land. Where can you buy with this?
This is eligible to anyone buying a home in Florida, anywhere. There are different benefits for people buying in certain census tracts because there are purchase limits on that of what you can how much of a home you can purchase.
Okay, so what are those typical limits? So the maximum purchase price to use this certificate?
Well, it goes by if it's anywhere in the state of Florida, it's a $300,000 purchase.
Okay.
If it's in a census tract, certain census tract areas, it can go up to $485,000.
Okay, so know that for sure up to $300,000 it works, but there's also cases where you can go as high as $485,000. So that's where you can buy the house and the price range you need to be in. I know one of the misunderstandings about this program is most people, when they think of first-time home buyer programs, they're thinking of lower income families and getting started, and that's how most of the programs are. Not really the case with this.
I think that's why a lot of people don't know about it, because people just brush it off. Oh, that's a low-income thing, I'm not going to qualify for that. And people are proud. They want to know. People know that they make money when you're going for a mortgage, right? Right.
So, but this one has some kind of income limits though, so let's review those.
Okay, so if it goes by household income. So if your household, every county is different. So let's talk about Palm Beach County for right now. In Palm Beach County, if you are 1 or 2 household, then it's $80,000, $84,000. Okay. If you're 3 or more in a household, then it's up to $100,000 for your income limits.
All right, so there's a little nuance there in that it's not just people that are on the mortgage. The income limits apply to anyone that's in the household, living in the house, that's working. But still, we're talking about, even if it's just husband and wife, $84,000 income limit. It's not like these other programs that are at $47,000. They're at $84,000. So there's plenty of first-time home buyers that qualify for this
And a
program.
person buying, with $80,000 of income certainly may qualify for a $300,000 house.
Right. So what does the borrower have to do? Well, you know what? First, most important thing, what kind of money are we talking about? What can they save?
Well, they can save up to $2,000 a year for as long as they own the home. What happens is they get the mortgage certificate every year. It's mailed to them, to their home. So as long as they stay in that home, they're eligible, and it goes up to 50% of your interest income interest that you paid on your mortgage. So if you paid $4,000 in interest to your mortgage, you can get a credit up to $2,000.
Okay, now, this is the part we definitely don't want to breeze over, and that's because it's money, what a credit is. So you can get up to $2,000 a year, and in a lot of cases, it's $2,000. There's not a lot where 50% of the interest is less than $2,000. So let's just use that number as a $2,000 a year credit. This is not a $2,000 tax deduction.
No.
Right?
No, it is.
How is a credit different?
A tax deduction, well, you might have a deduction for your children, and you might have a $3,000 deduction, but you really only get a credit for $300 for your tax income.
Right, so that's just saying that if it was a tax deduction, it just means that's some income that you don't have to pay income tax on.
Correct.
Tax credit?
Tax credit is dollar for dollar, comes back to you on your federal tax return.
Okay, so this is really simple math. If you buy the house, you make under your $84,000 a year, you're buying in Florida, you're smart enough to get your mortgage credit certificate before you close, and you stay in the house for 10 years as your primary residence.
Right.
How much money is that in your pocket?
That's $20,000 in your pocket.
$20,000 cash money in your pocket. So, I mean, seriously, if you're about to buy your first home or thinking about it this year and you're not looking into a mortgage credit certificate, it's like just burning money.
Yeah,
$2,000 a year that you're
absolutely.
entitled to that you're not going to get. So what does the borrower have to do to get this money?
They have to ask. When they come in for, you have to go to an approved lender. We've been selected by Florida, Florida Housing, and we're eligible to give the certificate. What they have to do is we fill out paperwork when they come in to help them get that, and then they also have to do a first-time homebuyer course. They can do it in a classroom or they can do it online. It takes about 6 to 8 hours. So, I mean, it's very simple.
So 6 to 8 hours learning about things you probably need to learn about as a first-time home buyer.
Absolutely.
There's no bad information there.
I think, they go over budgeting and things like that and what's in it about owning a home. But honestly, who couldn't learn that?
And I mean, really, lessons you're going to use for the rest of your life. So, geez, I don't want to spend 6 hours in a class. You're only going to give me $20,000.
Okay.
It's sort of like a no-brainer, right? I mean, ask for their certificate, go to the class, and get it. So who's not getting these certificates that are first-time home buyers in Florida?
Well, a lot of people who don't know about it. And of course, since we're an approved lender, then, we're going to be talking about it. If you go to somebody who isn't a qualified lender that's offering this program, they're not going to talk about it. They're not going to tell you about it.
Yeah, of course, they're not going to say, did you get your mortgage credit certificate to save $2,000 a year?
Right.
Because we don't really offer that. So if you want that free money, you have to go someplace else. But, there's a lot of realtors also listening to this that are working with first-time home buyers.
Right.
How do they get their clients involved?
They just have to send them over to Family Mortgage and we'll walk them through it.
Right, because it's got to happen before you close. It's got to happen during the buying process.
Yeah, I was talking to someone at the state level, and they heard that people were calling in and they were saying, hey, how do I get my mortgage certificate? He says, if you didn't get it when you were applying for a mortgage, you can't get it ever.
But, since we've been selected to offer this program, I have a big mouth, so I've been talking about it a lot because, it really bothers me. If someone's a first-time home buyer and I find out they just closed with somebody and they didn't get their certificate, I didn't even want them to hear it from me.
Right.
They just get mad, that it was out there for them and they didn't receive it. So let's get this straight. If you haven't owned a house for 3 years, and wait, I want to make sure we mention that there's an exception to that for veterans, right?
Correct. And that's the other question that a lot of people are asking. What kind of programs, is this, do I have to go FHA? Do I have to go conventional? So it's available for everyone. VA, there's no wait time. So if a veteran has a house and they're selling it and buying, whether they're upgrading or going to, a smaller home, they are eligible right away.
No waiting period for
No
that.
waiting.
And we passed that pretty quickly. You said any program. That would mean
VA.
FHA, 3.5% down.
Yep.
VA, no money
money
down.
down.
USDA,
No
money
money
down. Or even if they're going
Conventional.
conventional. So the type of loan you're getting has nothing to do with whether you qualify for this certificate.
That's right.
Income limits, you're in Florida, you qualify.
You qualify.
But you gotta
But
ask.
you gotta ask and you gotta take the class.
Okay, so for both groups of people out there, the first-time home buyers or realtors that find yourself working with a first-time home buyer, you're really, from what Tanya's told us, you're doing a disservice if you haven't made sure that they get the mortgage credit certificate. Because listen, if they find out after closing that it was out there and you're their agent, and I'm sure you're an exceptional agent, but if you didn't mention this to them, they're not going to be happy when they find out afterwards, or when they find out that their friend who was working with somebody else was told about this mortgage credit certificate, was sent to us, and then got it. So let's make sure everybody knows how to contact you so that they can apply for their certificate.
All right, well, you can call our office at 561-575-5626, or you can learn more about it at myelitelending.com/MCC.
And that'll explain some details, but obviously you're going to have to get with Tanya so she can get you enrolled in the program as part of the process. So the steps would be, everybody wants to get pre-qualified, especially if you're a first-time home buyer, before you start shopping.
Right, and that's the time to start.
So either the agent would be sending them to you to get pre-qualified, get the mortgage credit certificate process rolling. Now they're pre-qualified, you're sending them back to the agent to go shopping like a cash buyer, right?
Right, absolutely.
And then looking forward to every year that they're in that house saving $2,000.
Getting some money back.
It's like you're Santa Claus and this Christmas. You're just giving it away.
We're giving away money today.
This is just information everybody needs to know. Thanks so much for coming in today.
Thanks for having me.